Welcome back, episode number 48, No Cap Sports. And since y'all say we never talk about baseball, we're naming this the Tory Hunter episode, man. Tory Hunter episode. Let's get it, man. And so, first of all, as always, let's start it out with that fight. So go on and give it to us, Josh.
Man, appreciate you, Nick. You know, miss y'all ugly boys. If it wasn't Tory Hunter, it was Nazi Muhammad. So yeah, shout out to Six Fouls on 2K14. But being your resident music connoisseur, I had to bring a couple things to you because we haven't been in a while. First things first, got a Memphis man, no more album in the world, Gangsta's Pain. Give me. When I say Gangsta's Pain, what do y'all think of?
Not an album with Janae Aiko and Pharrell on it.
Good, very good point. Very good point. Did you like the Neptune song, Nick? I'm gonna ask you that because you named it first.
All right, so I'm gonna keep it a stack. Like I listened to the tape the day it dropped. I listened to the first 4 songs, turned it off. Man. I'm not even gonna lie. Listened to the song with Pharrell. I was like, it's alright. It's not really. I just don't like. Moneybagg is a street rapper, not a melody guy or a love guy. Like I don't want to hear that from Moneybagg. In all honesty,
you didn't like the Aiko song, bro?
No. Just like I ain't like the Summer Walker song on my last.
I mean, it got put on my playlist. You know that playlist.
What playlist?
You know the playlist.
But I would have to agree with Nick on a general basis. No, actually, I don't. Not at all. Only thing I would agree with you is the Neptune song. Pharrell and Neptune, they're store producers, but I just didn't think it was not a good fit for Moneybagg. I would definitely rather hear Mawasi or Real Red, his normal producers. I actually got the same feeling that you did, Nick. The first couple songs, the first one with Cash Page, I thought I talked myself into loving just because I like Cash Page. Couldn't even get through it, honestly. So the way you said that, the feeling that inspired, despite it selling 110K the first week, I'm gonna have to give it a thumbs down, man. You know, relative to expectations, I definitely feel that the song with 30, the single that dropped, had a lot of people gaslighting the album. But in terms of my feeling, looking at it, it's like 24 songs. I mean, nowadays you really don't need an album that's gonna be that long. Now with the deluxe, we're gonna drop 30. If you drop the deluxe, it's gonna be a little bit too much music. So I think we're gonna give it a thumbs down to Gangsta Pain. Are you gonna go with that, Vance?
Yeah, I listened to it. I probably downloaded 4 songs.
I don't know. See, that's an F. Yeah. 4 out of 24. That's an F.
Well, so I will say I need to re-listen to it because I was talking to one of my partners today, and he put me on that Clear the Air and At Least I Ain't Lie. In addition to that Hard for the Next.
I Ain't Lie Go Hard. That's the best song on the album. I can't lie to you.
Yeah, and those are songs like in the 20s. So, that's 4 songs right there. Go, Hard for the Next, At Least I Ain't Lie, and Clear the Air. Those 4 songs kind of inspired me to listen to it again and see what I feel like. So I'm not going to give it a verdict yet.
The only album cut that because Hard for the Next and Go were both singles that he had before. So the only thing off the album that I truly liked that is my playlist was the Janae Aiko song. We're going to give it that a thumbs down. Producer albums. Vance, give me your favorite producer out right now. You hear that tag like you know it's going to be a banger.
My favorite producer out right now. I mean, the first thing that came to my mind was just Tay Keith, bro. But I mean, is he the best? I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna go with Tay Keith. Tay Keith.
Tay Keith. Okay, I'm gonna have to go Wheezy, bro.
Okay, you really covered my. Okay, so I like two solid producers. Obviously, you showing your YSL chain off of Nick, but it's understandable. DJ Khaled just dropped a producer album. DJ Khaled, this is his third studio album I think he's dropped. What do you guys think of producer albums in general?
I'm a fan of producer albums. Like looking at DJ Mustard album last year or 2 years ago, I was a fan of that. Real Red album was a fan of that. DJ Khaled albums have brought some, good music in the past. I haven't listened to this one yet, but I think producer albums are just a good way for people to be introduced to a lot of different music. Because like when you're a producer, you got different sounds, different tastes, and you can really create whatever taste you want. Like I'm thinking of all these producer albums I listen to, like The Alchemist and things like that. All of them like have a vibe they want, and they're able to create that throughout a project.
How you feel the same way, Vance?
Yeah, I mean, I love producer albums, but this DJ Khaled album was not it at all. I listened to the first 2 songs, bro. It sounded like I was listening to it in my car, but it sounded like he didn't tune it right, bro. I could hear the beat, but I couldn't hear the artist clearly in the first 2 songs, so I turned it off. I can't lie to you.
I haven't even downloaded to my playlist yet. I'm a fan of producer albums too, like Nick and Van stated, just because the diversity and the range on the album track that you did. DJ Mustard, Real Red, different producers that bring a wild variety of different artists that you can have on a track that you may not even collab with. But once you get to this, like the celebrity producers, like a DJ Mustard, like a DJ Khaled, like you get to worry about things like Van said, like quality. The actual tape going down. Because, once you reach a certain status, reach a certain status as a producer, it's going to be all about feature chasing. Which is how they get their money. But it's just the cohesiveness of the tape. Like, I'm looking at the names on DJ Khaled's album. Like, it's just an all-star team. He didn't really go through and be like, I want this sound, I want this sound. Who's the hottest guys right now? He literally, I feel like he just went on Google like rappers. And he was like, anybody that popped up, just put him on his album. So, I definitely like the concept. I want more, not local, but up-and-coming producers to try to recreate something like that. But when you get to, DJ Khaled, he made a lot more money than off this album, so he can tell me to shut up. But, personally, I would just want to see a little bit more cohesiveness. It's just, it's not an all-star group, but a group that can actually, make good music together.
You saw him cry, bro, when he realized he was number one?
Yeah. Hey, this ain't his first or last time being number one. He posted a picture of his son in the swimming pool yesterday, so social media is a mist of him. Last we got Young Stoner Life, Young Thug's latest release. Nick, take it away, man. I know you're a big YSL guy. Tell us how you liked it.
Slime Language, man. That's album of this era, bro. Like, this era is in, springtime, summertime. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the perfect album for the summer, bro. It's got everything you want on it. Everything from Carly and Coily Ray to Young Thug and Gunna. You know what I'm saying? Got verses from Lil Baby. Got everything you need on the album, bro. This is an album I definitely give it, like, 2 thumbs up, bro. There were some songs that were obvious skips. Young Thug gave his daughter a song. We know how that went. But overall, it was a great project. I really enjoyed it. It's 2 thumbs up for me, man.
Okay, I definitely feel that. Vance, you want to give your thoughts on Slime Language too?
No comment.
Oh wow, hard out. It is what it is, brother. Different strokes, different folks. As much as I hate to admit that I'm a Young Thug fan because he did wear his dress one time. I finally come out of the closet at that stage, and
what do you mean by that?
And finally begin to appreciate his music. 22 songs. Like Nick said, some obvious skips. Guys I never heard of, things like that. But he got him a star-studded playlist. So Ski, Solid, and Pay to Find downloaded. So how many you got downloaded from that 22?
I just like when the OG dropped, I added all of them. Okay. Like, but the only skips I can think of right now off the top of my head are GFU, Como Te Llama, and Superstar. Superstar, the worst song I heard in the last 10 years. So.
The Future joint?
Yeah. All you gotta do is listen to it one time and you'll know what I'm talking about.
Okay. Give me some music to check out then. So what's that, 19 for 22?
Yeah.
Let me be a mathematician real quick. The wild worlds of the Google. 86%. So Mr. Nick Hayes, you're dimming at a B+?
B+.
I can definitely rock around with that range. B+. I like he did what I wanted, like I said, one of these producer albums to do. He's not a producer, but he as a record head. He had, his guys on there, aka skip songs. He got the major artist guys that he needed to get. And he still is, Young Thug is one of the most talented guys out. So he's definitely, gave himself some space on the album. So B+, A minus. As much as I hate to agree with you, I definitely I will this time.
All right. In honor of Versus, we got a new segment. It's called Versus. And just like how it's been one-on-one in the music industry, I'm gonna do one-on-one in terms of players, teams, and so forth over the next coming weeks. So in this one, I'm gonna have one player versus another player, and I'm gonna compare their resumes. I'm gonna ask you two, which one do you like better? And then at the end, I'm gonna reveal who the players are. So player one, in his second season, averaged 17.3 points per game, 4.4 rebounds per game, and 8.9 assists. Player two averaged 19.3 points per game, 3.9 rebounds per game, and 7.3 assists per game. Player one in his second season shot 35% from three and 45% from the field. Player two averaged 30% from three and 45% from the field. So player two averaged 2 more points per game, and player one averaged 5 more percent than player two from 3-point range.
Well, I'm gonna jump right into it, bro. Give me player one.
Okay.
I like the 3-point percentage, the assist numbers. Even though 2 points not that big a deal to me, give me player one, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go player one too. Almost 9 assists with 35%. In the second year, I mean, I'm gonna take give me player one too.
All right. Do you have any guesses on who player one or player two is before I reveal who they are?
I think player two is Ja Morant.
Give me some context then, Nick.
Player one maybe De'Aaron Fox. No, he's never been a 9 assist guy. Player one Trae Young, maybe.
35? They said 30.
He said
35% for player one from 3-point range.
Yeah, I think Trae might be player one.
All right, player one in his second season, their team finished 39-43.
That's a king. 39-43.
Nah.
And player two in their second season, their team was 35-33.
That's Ja. So who's the first one?
Man, come on, man. It's too many players, man.
No, tripping. Ooh! 39. I think we established that the first one is Ja. Can we get some more hints on number two?
No, player two is Ja.
I mean number one. Y'all said it backwards. Can we get some more hints on number one, please?
Number one he's currently in the NBA. He's a point guard.
How many assists he had?
Point guard. 8.9 assists in his second season.
Is it CP3?
No.
Yes.
That's what I thought.
So player one, CP3. Player two is Ja Morant, both in their second season.
So here at No Cap, we are a sports show, although I guess for this subject we'll be applying this term a little loosely. Floyd versus Logan Paul. Floyd Mayweather, arguably the greatest pound fighter of our generation, is fighting a YouTube star. Logan Paul, he only has one professional win right now, so that's definitely concerning for him. The first thing I want to say is, over here at No Cap, we don't hate on no black people getting money. Floyd is standing to make about $100 million from this fight. I think the biggest purse he would ever, it would have been the biggest purse in his career. So we don't down black people getting money. So I mean that's the reason. It's obviously a money grab. It's obviously a show, but that's a lot of money to grab. So that's the first thing I want to say. But to degrade the sport of boxing to a level where it's basically like WWE, I mean, it's kind of disheartening. I mean, I am a big boxing fan. Vance is too. Nick is a cursory fan. We're gonna bring him to the club soon. It's a sweet art is a sweet science, and it's basically dissolved in the WWE. So, Vance, what do you think about the tomfoolery going on with this?
I love it. I can't lie to you, bro. It brings more people to the sport. So, like, as you get Tyson Fury, he might have to take a big fight. Let's just say Mayweather does get knocked out. Somehow he loses, bro. They gotta fight Tyson Fury. They got to, bro.
So you think? So hold on. You think?
I know you think it's stooping down to the level of WWE, bro. But that controversy that makes the fight a lot of times, bro.
I mean, I agree with that, bro. But I think like wins like this that go on Floyd's record are stains on his legacy, bro. When you fight a guy like a YouTuber, bro, and now you're 51-0 instead of 50-0. That 51st win, that 51st victory has an asterisk on it, bro. You're fighting a guy with one professional fight. It's all about the money. So I agree that it brings fans, younger kids to boxing, makes it, improves the sport, considering how it's lost part of its way to UFC. But I think this is bad for the boxers themselves, the pro boxers themselves, who are in it for the sport and not the publicity.
I don't know. Because I feel like if you give other people platforms just inside of it, so let's just say they start talking about Canelo Alvarez. Let's just say they talk about Deontay Wilder. These guys that really can fight and they're still young and in their prime, bro. You can't help but just keep watching.
I mean, I feel I see both sides of the coin. I definitely think that is, like I said, it's just a degrading, certain levels of boxing. I think it's become essentially WWE. The only thing I want to correct you about, Nick, is that this is not a sanctioned fight. This is not sanctioned by any boxing commission. So this will not be Floyd's 51st win, regardless of what he wants to say.
Okay.
But I just think that he's not taking anybody. He's not taking money out of anybody else's pocket. I mean, Floyd is a retired fighter, and whichever Paul he's fighting is a YouTube star with one fake fight. So I understand that he definitely is. He's tarnishing his legacy, boxing legacy to a certain extent. But I don't really say I would feel bad for current fighters because there's not any fighters that he's taking their money out of their pocket. I was like, oh, I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna beat up a TikToker today. So I think it's degrading, but I don't think it's gonna be felt in any particular boxer.
Bro, you can't blame him. It's $100 million. Bro, I'll fight Chris Paul for $100 million. I'll fight Lena Paul for $100 million. Like, come on, bro.
No, I think you'll fight Chris Paul for a meal, like just food. But like, if you don't like it, it is what it is. But yeah, Floyd Mayweather, yeah, that's ridiculous. But we can talk about some real boxing. Billy Ray Sanders and Canelo Alvarez fought last night. Canelo is probably the pound for pound. But he is the pound guy right now. His last loss was in 2013 to Floyd, so I definitely think he's grown from that experience. Chris Maddox, HBO Boxing, called the fight. He had Billy Ray Sanders up into the 8th round, and Canelo Alvarez essentially literally just erased this man's eye. Nick. This guy has stated on multiple occasions that he was willing to die in the ring. So he's been knocked down, I think 3 times, but never been knocked out. So he fractured his eye. And it wasn't even his decision to not get off the stool. His corner did not let him get off the stool. So Canelo, but it was just the thing that was interesting is that Canelo wasn't necessarily unanimously winning on all the scorecards before. But he got game-changing power. Like the only way that Floyd really got off by fighting him too early. Canelo was 23-24. Floyd was entering the near what we thought he was his LeBron-like prime. So, Floyd's a businessman first from the show. He always knew, from De La Hoya to Pacquiao to Canelo, Victor Chavez, all these guys, he picked these fights, personally, either guys are too young or too old, to maintain his perfect record. So, but I think Canelo, got a lot of knowledge and experience from that Floyd fight.
Now, the star of draft night was not any of the rookies who are coming into the NFL. Instead, it was league MVP quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Now, for some context, Rodgers is coming off an MVP season where he threw for over 4,000 yards and 48 touchdowns, taking the Packers all the way to the NFC Championship, where they eventually lost to the Bucs in a decision by Matt LaFleur that was questioned throughout the sports world, taking the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hands. And so on April 29th, right before the draft, Adam Schefter broke the news that Rodgers was unhappy with the Packers and wanted out of Green Bay. Now, after that, reports started swirling in how Rodgers was unhappy with the Packers after their decision to trade up for Jordan Love in 2020, how long-term contract negotiations had broke down between Rodgers and the Packers, reports that the Packers had promised Rodgers they'd trade him earlier in the offseason, then they decided not to do it, and then reports that Rodgers wouldn't return as long as Gutekunst remained as the Packers GM, who Rodgers called Jerry Krause in text messages with teammates. Then there were reports of dissatisfaction with the Packers' decision to cut wide receiver Jake Kumerow just 2 days after Aaron Rodgers had high praise for him. And now Kumerow, for context, is the guy who had 20 receptions, 322 yards, and 2 touchdowns in his career with the Packers. So I'm going to leave that as that. But taking all of this into consideration, if you are Aaron Rodgers, do you want out of Green Bay?
I would no, I don't. Especially when you think about how is Aaron Rodgers? Maybe 30.
He's 37.
37. So he's 37 years old. He's playing in the NFC North, which was relatively weak last year. What, the Vikings? Did they have a winning record? No. The Bears? No. They might have.
Yeah, I think the Bears had a winning record because they made the wild card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Bears made the playoffs, but nobody's taking the Bears seriously. Come on, bro. Then who's the other team?
The Lions.
Come on, bro. That's 4 easy wins when you consider the Lions and the Vikings. And that's a division where it gets cold up there, and teams don't want to go up there and play them. I think he's gotten accustomed to it, considering he's played 16 years there. But I think if I'm here, I'm not trying to leave. But then again, it's just the front office is not trying to work with him, bro.
Yeah.
Like, give him what he wants, bro. He's a proven quarterback in this league. He's still top 5. He just won the MVP. Get him what he wants, what he needs.
I definitely like your point, Nick, about how the advance about the conference being weak and him being in a good position. I mean, 3 NFC championships in a row they've been to, so it's not like they've been underachieving. I mean, I do worry if they've hit a certain plateau, especially with the Bucks bringing all their guys back. But they had a level of success. But I would definitely tell Aaron Rodgers it's time to leave. Not only because it's the front office not helping him, not doing what they're supposed to do, but I feel like they're all actively working against him. 9 of the last 10 first round picks, you pick defensive guys. You give your MVP quarterback a fourth round as his best option. He turns it to Devontae Adams, but still, yeah. I mean, I just feel like you're spitting in the face of your most prized possession. Last year, he says, 2 weeks before the draft, I need me a weapon. I need me a weapon, which is not, a crazy crowd, a crazy demand for your star QB. And not only do you literally not get him a weapon, you draft his replacement. So, I mean, the grumblers in Green Bay, I mean, he's been unhappy in Green Bay for a long time, and I think the Jordan Love thing sealed it off. And he has a right to feel disrespected. He's achieved a certain level of playing this in the league, and he doesn't have to be treated like this because there are 31 other teams that are doing better than Green Bay has.
I think you really summed it up with your point about this team has been to 3 straight conference championships, but they can't get over that hump. And looking at Rodgers, he's 37. He's nowhere close to the back end of his career. As we see, he just put up an MVP season where he was hands down the best player in the league, in my opinion. And so he has shown no signs of slowing down. But when you're Aaron Rodgers, you only have 1 Super Bowl ring. And right now, you're in, I would say, the second prime of his career. You want a ring, and the Packers front office is doing nothing to help him get that ring. You look at last year's draft, like you said, they traded up to get Jordan Love. And it's like this year, yet again, they didn't help Rodgers out. They didn't draft another receiver until the 3rd round this year in Amari Rodgers, who I think will be a big help in Green Bay. But you look at all of the receivers that have come into the league these past 2 years, and you're telling me that the Packers front office didn't pick any of them? Looking at CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy, Ruggs, Waddle, Devontae Smith, all these guys that came into the league in the past 2 years. And the Packers didn't make a move on any of them. Not even an offensive weapon, not a tight end, not a running back, not nothing. And I think that's where Aaron Rodgers' frustration comes from. And then you see when Rodgers, he's got a player he likes in Jake Kumaro. They said that was really the straw that broke the camel's back in terms of Rodgers wanting out. When your star MVP quarterback says he likes a receiver and you cut him 2 days after, I'd be pretty mad with that front office too, in compilation with all the other things that have happened.
That's what I'm saying. It feels like not only are they just being ignorant, or they're not being incompetent, they're actively saying they're trying to run them out of town, and it makes no sense to me. I didn't know about the Kumaro thing, but the Kumaro thing, Jordan Love, the lack of assets, are they truly trying to run him out of town?
And I think you look at the NBA, even though the NFL isn't the same thing, this is the time for player empowerment, man. We've seen it in the NFL a little bit with guys like Deshaun Watson, Matthew Stafford, guys, saying they want to be traded, don't want to play for a team anymore. But I think this situation with Rodgers, I think this has potential to just change the entire NFL landscape when it comes to how you treat star players, especially quarterbacks.
To go on the top of that, you guys said they've been to the NFC Championship the last 3 years. And you got them help, because just think about the last 3 teams that's got to the Super Bowl that beat them. 3 years ago, the Rams, top 3 defense. You got to give them some. 2 years ago, San Francisco, top 3 defense. Last season, who did they lose to? The Buccaneers caught fire with the blitzing every play. Top 3 defense. So you got to give them some help, bro.
I agree, bro. And I feel like the Packers have done things to make that offense better. You look at Matt LaFleur coming in, putting more of an emphasis on the running game with Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams. But at a certain point, bro, talent wins ball games. And I think that's the problem in Green Bay. But I want to look at this Aaron Rodgers situation from a different angle. We know he's kind of been hosting Jeopardy, but also he mentioned in his MVP acceptance speech that he recently got engaged. He didn't say her name, but he recently got engaged to actress Shailene Woodley, who lives in Denver, Colorado, and she's a Hollywood star. So I want to know, in you guys' opinion, do y'all think his newfound relationship has him wanting out of Green Bay, or do you think it plays a factor at all?
I mean, I definitely think it plays a factor. I mean, you're in the greater Wisconsin area. Your wife is in Los Angeles, California. You're gonna, automatically gonna close that distance. But he gotta do what he gotta do as a man at the end of the day, and whatever he did, he's made with the Green Bay Packers because he got a $23 million question hanging over his head.
And I mean, the main reason I brought this up is, yes, she does a lot of work in LA, but she also has a home in Denver, Colorado. And the Broncos were one of the teams he listed on his wish list. So I just wanted to see what y'all thought about that.
So you don't think it's because of the Broncos' talent that
I think that plays a factor, but if you just look at what Aaron Rodgers has done since the NFL season has ended, talking about how he gets engaged seemingly out of nowhere, how he's taken a number of vacations with Woodley to places like Mexico, Canada, and Hot Springs, Arkansas. Take a vacation to Hot Springs, Arkansas, that means you're really in love. So I'm just saying, bro.
Oh, you're just trying to get out of wherever you at.
in Hot Springs, bro. Hot Springs is nice, bro.
I ain't never been to Hot Springs, bro, but there are a few things that would convince me to say, hey, babe, let's take a trip.
Hey, you know what they're known for, Nick?
What?
Water geysers.
No, y'all sleep. Y'all gotta go. Hey, we gotta take a trip to Magic Springs one day this summer, bro. Y'all never heard of Magic Springs? It's an amusement.
I mean, I didn't heard of it, but I ain't never been.
Hey, it's nice, bro. It's better than Six Flags.
It's a bold claim, brother.
For real though.
Y'all
I've been
gotta
to Magic Springs too. It ain't.
Y'all gotta go. When's the last time you went?
I was a kid.
Were you 21?
No.
Exactly.
But yeah, man. I just want to see what y'all thought on that, man, because, of course, paparazzi and the media has been trying to make some connections with that. I just want to see how my, no cap brothers viewed it. In terms of whether I think he actually is dealt or not, I think that's a tricky question because you look at NFL history, no MVP has ever been traded the following season. And only 2 MVPs did not play for the same team they played for the previous season. And that's because they retired. So I think looking at this, I think it's going to be hard to get this deal done because I feel like this is a deal that should have got done before the draft. So that way the Packers could start crafting their post-Rodgers era with some picks in this year's draft to help Jordan Love or whoever they bring in take over. So I think it's going to be harder to do this deal now. But with both sides standing pat and with the Packers making a significant long-term offer to Rodgers on Monday, I think it's going to be difficult for them to move on. But I am interested to hear what you guys think about if he gets traded, where does he end up, and what will that package look like?
I just think that, it depends on who is going to have what Green Bay is going to need because I think that they're going to eventually end up trading him, even though their GM said they wouldn't 2 weeks ago. But, I mean, he is literally the MVP. He is the most valuable player in the league as of right now. So I just want to see. I just want to see the deal. I just want to see how much they're going to get for him. I mean, the first thing I'll pay, they're going to need at least 2 firsts. I don't even get on the phone with the GM without 2 firsts. I personally think that, I mean, if you would drive a hard bargain, 3, but 3 first round picks, I think Green Bay might have to give up something because they're going to want something else.
Yeah.
But 2 firsts, whatever elite young prospect, you're probably one of your first round picks from the last 3 drafts. And then I think they're probably going to want, another starter. So was that, basically 4 high level players.
Yeah.
Essentially.
And so where do you think?
Well, name a team, name a package, bro.
Oh, I'm glad you asked, brother. The first one I had, these are all from NFL.com. I can't take no credit. I really didn't want to say them out loud. They had, Bridgewater obviously replacing their quarterback. KJ Hamler, their 2nd round pick from last year, I think, pretty a weapon, something that he hadn't had. Their 2021 and 22 first, 2021 22 seconds. And no, that was it. So it was Bridgewater, Hamler, and then 2 firsts, 2 seconds. So that's 6 for 1, essentially. 2 firsts, a starting QB, a starting slot, and then 6 players.
Yeah, and I like that package because out of Rodgers' wish list, looking at the Broncos, 49ers, and Raiders, I think the 49ers automatically took themselves out of contention since they drafted Trey Lance number 3 overall. So I think they're out. So then you look at the Broncos and the Raiders, and I think the Broncos are best equipped to get the deal done and best equipped to make Rodgers successful, in his next destination. Yes, he's going to be in the same division as Pat Mahomes, and that's always going to be tough. But like you said, they have the assets to get it done. And I really like the package you put together. And I wouldn't give up KJ Hamler personally. Instead, I give up Michael Moutier, a corner they drafted last year, and I throw in a conditional 4th-round pick that increases in value with how well the team does.
I like those, bro. Very nice picks, bro. But the team I'm gonna go with the New Orleans Saints, bro. The last season, the only thing that kept them away from getting to the Super Bowl was the quarterback. I think you can run it back with the same roster. With that being said, the trade package I give was the first 2 draft picks for the Saints this past draft. And first round, they had was a defensive end out of Houston and Peyton Turner. And then in the second round, they got an inside linebacker out of Ohio State and Pete Houston. So the way I see it, bro, give away those 2. You got 2 quarterbacks. I would give away both of them. The Saints just drafted Ian Book. I think be a solid backup for Aaron Rodgers. Learning under him in the next 2 to 3 years at the very least, bro. He might be ready in those couple of years. But so basically, they can have both the quarterbacks. The Packers can. They can have. So then they have a easy pickings. One of those 3 would be good. You're gonna have Jameis Winston. You're gonna have who's the quarterback they just drafted last year?
Jordan Love.
Jordan Love. I can't even think of his name. He might be good. Who knows, bro? And then you got the jack of all trades right there. What's the quarterback for the Saints?
Taysom Hill.
Okay, exactly, bro. So you got three players, bro.
Yeah, I like a Saints package, bro, but I think it would be hard. I doubt it happens. But if Aaron Rodgers is like, yeah, wherever I go, Devontae Adams got to come with me.
Shut up. No, he did that. You do that. I don't care how good you are. You can't do that. The Packers are not going for that. They won't get him a receiver, and you think they're gonna let him take a receiver with him?
Just saying, bro. That's the best duo we saw in football last year. But I would really hate to see them split up.
I mean, he can have slant boy. Mike Thomas will catch some slants, bro.
It's just not gonna cut it, man. He's not Devontae.
I know you definitely ruled out San Francisco, but what rules? Because another team that I wanted to mention in the trade talk was I can't say that, the Washington football team in San Francisco, because both of those teams, they've been stockpiling defensive assets, draft picks in general. I think that they're kind of the Celtics of football. You stockpile these talents and these guys. You want to trade in your tokens a little bit. What stops San Francisco from using Trey Lance in a scenario to get Aaron Rodgers?
Because then you have a quarterback who was drafted in 2020 and a quarterback who was drafted in 2021 on your roster. That's 2 young guys, both on rookie contracts. And that's just a waste of everybody's time. You know what I'm saying? And plus, obviously, the 49ers drafted Trey Lance with the intent of making him the quarterback of the future in San Francisco. So I highly doubt they give up on him for Aaron Rodgers, a guy who's going to be out the league in, 6 years or so.
Okay, San Francisco. Okay, we say we're a month down the line. Aaron Rodgers, and all this talk is cool off, but he has no suitor. The GM for the Packers calls you the 49er GM apparently. Let me get Lance and Sherman. I think Sherman's hurt. Can he be traded?
Sherman is a free agent.
Yeah. He's not on the team no more. Who's they best DB right now?
They might have to give up Boza, bro.
Just work with me. Like a month down the line, and he said, "Give me Lance." Okay, I'll take Boza. Give me Lance. Give me Bosa. Give me a 3rd round.
A 3rd.
I highly doubt they'll stoop that low in a package for Aaron Rodgers. I highly doubt it.
You're not seeing how long it's gonna be. I mean, they're getting essentially 2 first-round picks in Lance and Bosa. So, I mean, they're not. It's not like they're getting those scrubs. They're getting.
But you throwing him inside the hardest division in football.
Exactly.
I mean, I think that would be a horrible. I mean, it would be a horrible way to give value back for Green Bay. But I mean, I feel like personally, each day that they don't trade up, it knocks off a little. His tarnish and value goes down a little bit, at least to other teams.
I mean, I just think it's interesting how the situation plays out. Like I said, Monday, the Packers offered him a significant long-term deal. That was one of the main points in Rodgers' dissatisfaction with the organization. So I think it's going to be important to keep an eye on that and see how that develops. And if it's a number that Rodgers like and is willing to take in order to keep him in Green Bay.
What's the percentage chance that Aaron Rodgers retires
NBA
and doesn't play next season?
I'd say so it's pretty 65%.
Nah, he ain't gonna retire. I'll go 25. He's not gonna retire.
If you the Packers, would you trade him for Deshaun Watson?
I mean, I would, but yet again, Rodgers wouldn't be happy there, and he probably retired if he got traded there. So
that's the Texans. They got to deal with that.
well, yeah, that is also true. But the Texans wouldn't pull the trigger without talking to Aaron Rodgers about it first. So
yeah, true.
I'm surprised he don't got no trade clause. If Jimmy Garoppolo got one, why Aaron Rodgers don't got one?
Aaron Rodgers is not Jimmy Garoppolo.
Meaning what?
He's not as good as Jimmy G.
What?
don't even say it. We just gonna
my the Pro Bowls.
Hey, what you got over there, bro? Put that down. I was thinking maybe he didn't hear me at first.
Jimmy G has 2 Super Bowls, as a matter of fact. Aaron Rodgers only has 1.
Oh yeah,
and that's facts.
Clickbait. We can put that up there for sure.
Yeah.
Super Bowl appearances. Actually, 4. Hold on. He has 4 Super Bowls. 3 with the Patriots and 1 with the 49ers.
Yeah, I figured, bro. Those ain't even real appearances, but you got it, bro.
Just fact. I'm just fact.
So last week, Ja Morant stirred the pot in NBA circles when he proclaimed himself to be a top 5 point guard in an interview with Shaq.
Ja, you got a lot of experts, a lot of media outlets that rate point guards, and he's this and he's that. Where do you rate yourself? Because I know as players, we always rate ourselves. Honestly, where do you rate yourself when it comes to, point guard position?
Top 5 for sure. Simple as that.
I like that.
I would agree with that.
I like that.
Top 5, I like that.
For sure, he said, for sure.
Okay.
I like that.
Boy.
So what we decided to do here at No Cap is we're going to give you our list of top 5 point guards in the league right now. And I'm going to start it out because the way I look at point guards is the same way I look at quarterbacks, bro. I base it off team success and what you can do. And to provide some parameters for this, we're not including guys like Luka, Harden, LeBron. We're just talking about pure point guards. And so number 5 on my list, I got Ja Morant. He came into the league doing what he had to do, filling the hole left by Mike Conley. He led the Grizzlies to 34 wins and almost a playoff berth as they lost in the play-in game in the bubble. And then he's doing it yet again this year. The team has 35 wins now, and they've secured a spot in the play-in game. He shows the load on both ends of the court, and he's averaging 19 points on 45% shooting with 7 assists this year. So this is a guy who I definitely think is one of the better point guards in the game, and he gets the job done when it comes to team success. And number 4, I got Damian Lillard. This guy is a bucket. He always gets disrespected, but he's one of those guys, bro. Averaging 28 points per game with 7 assists, and he's just the face of the Trailblazers. The conductor gets everything going, and he's led Portland to steady success in his time in Portland. Number 3, I got to go with Kyrie. He does things that are illegal in some countries with the basketball, and he's just, when you think of a point guard with handles, shooting, playmaking, he's just about the complete package. A guy who's averaging 27 points, shooting 50% from the field with 6 assists. And I think, even though people talk a lot about James Harden, I think it's Kyrie who has really put all the pieces together in Brooklyn and made sure everything works, because he's a guy who's played 51 games this year. Harden's missed a lot of time, but I think it's really Kyrie who's really kind of helped push the Nets through everything, even though, he has a lot of social justice things and things going on off the court. On the court, there's no denying Kyrie's talent. Number 2, I got to go Steph Curry, bro, because if it wasn't for the time he missed, he's definitely this year's MVP, in my opinion. He's averaging 31 points per game, shooting 43% from 3 with 5 rebounds and 5 assists. He's got the Warriors in 8th in the West right now with a 35-33 record. And there's no arguing me. Without Steph Curry, the Warriors have no shot in the NBA today, bro. They're not making the playoffs. They're not sniffing nothing, bro. They're out of there. Well, number one, bro.
Whoa.
No, let him go.
Steph Curry not this point guard?
No. Number one, the point guard himself, bro. I've been hating on him for too long. Chris Paul is the number one point guard in the NBA, bro. The CP3 effect is a real thing. It started when he was in Charlotte. Before he got to Charlotte 04-05, they had 18 wins. He gets drafted 05-06. That jumps to 36 wins. 07-08, the team has 56 wins because of Chris Paul. Same thing with the Clippers. Plus 8 wins in his first season as a Clipper. Plus 24 wins in his second season as a Clipper. And you can say what you want. Chris Paul is the guy that turned the Clippers into a perennial playoff team. The acquisition of Chris Paul made the Clippers who they are today. And there's no debating that, in my opinion, bro. And then you look at what he did in Houston. Yes, Houston had James Harden. Yes, Houston had been to the Western Conference Finals before CP3. But in CP3's first year in Houston, plus 10 wins. And then they made it to they were one game away from the NBA Finals. And that's because Chris Paul pulled his hamstring. I think Chris Paul doesn't pull his hamstring. You're looking at the Rockets in the finals that year. Then let's keep going, bro. He goes to OKC. Starting the year, they had a 0.2% chance to make the playoffs. You know what CP3 does? He says, okay, you know what? I'm on this team. I really don't want to be here, but we're going to get the job done. The team makes the playoffs, pushes the Rockets to 7 games, and they were 1 game away from moving into the second round with a team that had 0 chance to make the playoffs, according to everybody. And then this year is what's really important. You look at the Suns, they won 34 games last year, including the 8-0 bowl run. But CP3 comes in, and he matched last season's win total of 34 games and 48 games with the Suns. So you look at that, bro, the Suns are the second best team in the West. They're not even just the West. They're the second best team in the NBA in terms of record. And he's leading them to their first winning season since 2013-14 and their first playoff appearance since 2010. And he's averaging 16 points with 8.9 assists this year, bro. There's no denying that Chris Paul is the best point guard in the NBA because he gets the job done in terms of winning games for your ball club.
The nerve. That's what I said, bro. Chris Paul is the best point guard in the NBA.
Yes.
And you think about it.
I stand by that.
Say that sentence.
Chris Paul, number 3 for the Phoenix Suns, out of Wake Forest, standing at 5'10", is the best point guard in the NBA.
All right.
Okay, says he's 6 foot.
Nah, that man is not 6 foot. Anyways, bro. I mean, it was a good list until you named him number 1. Anything with Steph Curry not number 1 is a horrible list. I'm sorry. But anyways, number 5, I'm going to go with Ja Morant. I agree with him. He is top 5 point guard. Like you said, we're not including players like LeBron, James Harden, Luka Doncic, Ben Simmons. So I'm gonna throw Ja in there. He's a true point guard, averaging 19 points and 7 assists a game. I like what I see from him. He's only in his second year. He's only gonna get better. 21 years old. So now I'm gonna go with Mr. Triple Double. You know, broke the triple double record, passing Oscar Robertson. I like what I see from Rush. You know, he has the Wizards back in the play-in contention, bro. They might be able to make some noise depending on how things play out if they're healthy. Number 3, I'm gonna go with Dame Dollar, Mr. Big Shot, bro. And whenever I just don't see it. You think Chris Paul is better than Damian Lillard?
Yes.
I mean, no. Damian Lillard is averaging 29 points and assists, 39% from 3, 45% from the field, bro. He's an incredible ball player, bro. Just give me Damian Lillard over Chris Paul any time of any day of the week. Number 2, I'm gonna have to go with Kyrie Irving, bro. You know, a basketball wizard. If he quit the NBA right now, he could sell out arenas playing for the Globetrotters. And that's averaging 27 points a game, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, 92% from the free throw line, 39% from the 3-point line, and 50% shooting. So he doesn't miss. Literally, he can shoot it from anywhere. It's a 50-50 chance the ball goes in the hoop. That's facts. And you know who shoots even better than him? Steph and Wardell Curry, bro. You're the greatest shooter of all time. He's not the greatest scorer. He might be, bro. Because all he needs is a slither of hope. I've never seen anything like he could be covered, smothered. He's the only player I've ever seen that 2K cannot copy with how he plays.
Yeah.
You can play 10 times. 9 out of 10 times you're gonna be mad with how they use Stephen Curry on 2K. Like I've never seen anybody score like that. He's the best point guard in the league. Might be the best point guard ever. Some people say Magic Johnson. I never saw him play, bro. So I'm not gonna say Magic is the best point guard ever. Now, am I sending shots to Chris Paul? Yes, I am, bro. You know, being from the Memphis area, bro. You know, watching Grizzlies versus Clippers all them years. He's in that Blake Griffin type of light in my eyes, bro. It's just I can't show any love to Chris Paul. I'm sorry, bro.
I definitely like your list, Vance. You know, the hateration is strong, but I feel it. You haven't let that hate go, brother. Number 5 on my list. You know, we actually do have a pretty similar list. I got Russell Westbrook. That sounds like a buzz rubber. Russell Westbrook. Always been hard for me to pronounce. I've never been the biggest fan of his game. I would feel like he was, you know, the worst case of, you know, stat chasing, things like that. It was just shocking to see a former MVP get her bounced around the way he has in the league. But no longer denying his greatness, especially after he set the triple double record. He just broke Oscar Robinson's record with his 182nd triple double this in his career. And yeah, he's led a late season resurgence for the Wizards, so they're battling for the last play-in spot. So, you know, me talking about him not affecting winning is obviously not incorrect right now. So shout out to Russ. Number 4, I'm gonna put Chris Paul on there. He barely snuck on my list. You know, 16 points, 9 assists a game. He's a future Hall of Famer. I think first ballot. I don't think even that's a question. You know, Nick made the argument. He impacts winning more than any other player in the league right now besides LeBron. You know, you see a team that Chris Paul leads versus a team he goes to, 15, 20 wins consistently. You know, the veteran presence, the key shot making, the ability to be a father-like figure in the locker room. I mean, I can understand what you're saying, Vance, in terms of his on the court play, but the reason that, you know, that he leads to so much success and winning, at least in the regular season, is because, you know, some of the intangible things that he brings. So I got some interest for Chris Paul later. Number 3, definitely Damian Lillard. These next 3 guys I feel have revolutionized the game of basketball, and right now the point guard spot in the NBA is probably the most talented as it's ever been, honestly. He's becoming a A+ player, you know, gaming Paul George to an A++ player with the results he's been having this season. Yeah, he's getting closer and closer to Curry. That's all I'm gonna say. Number 2, Kyrie. The only difference between the reason I give him the bump over Lillard, like Van says, just the things that he can do with the ball in his hand. You know, I mean, they're all NBA players, all elite NBA players, but just the magic and the things that Kyrie can do. There's literally nobody that can consistently guard him. You know, either at the rim, at the 3, in between.
Except Ja Morant.
I get to you. But yeah, Kyrie, he's probably the most fun to watch, the second most fun to watch basketball, besides the number 1 guy on my list, Kobe White. Steph Curry, man. I said Kobe White. Hey, shout out UNC. Steph Curry. I mean, y'all said what had to be said. You know, it is the GOAT. GOAT of human form. Rollo on the track right now. Basketball will literally never be the same because of him. He's given, you know, short, ugly kids no reason to have faith in basketball and think they can make it. He made Under Armour popular. Like, you know, him and Deion Sanders are the only people to do that. You know, definitely think that he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. I think that the effect he's had on this game will never leave, and that's why he got to be the best point guard in the NBA right now.
With the season coming to an end, right now we're finna hand out all NBA awards. So we're gonna start out with a hot one, bro. Rookie of the Year. For me, I'm gonna go Ant Edwards, and it simply comes down to me for the fact that he's played 21 more games than Ball, who missed some time with that wrist fracture. And ever since Ball went out, Edwards has been averaging 22 points with 56.5 true shooting percentage with 5 rebounds and 3 assists. And ever since the All-Star break, coming back from that, his offensive game has gone off to another level. And that's why he gets my Rookie of the Year.
Okay. I'm with you on that, bro. You know, I can't argue. I said he's the number 1 player under 25 for a reason, bro. I think he's proven it since he's been in the starting lineup. You know, the first 20 games, they didn't have him finishing games. I don't know why. when he's clearly the best player on the team. He's better than D'Angelo Russell. He's better than Karl Anthony Towns. He's better than anybody else in the Minnesota Timberwolves, bro. Anthony Edwards Rookie of the Year. I don't think it's even close.
I mean, both of y'all are profound and Edwards lovers. I'm gonna definitely go with LaMelo Ball. Definitely know that he missed 20 games for wrist fracture. They thought it was gonna put him out for the rest of the season. I don't know when they vote for the Rookie of the Year, but if the Hornets can somehow sneak into the playing tournament, I definitely think that'll boost his case. I just think that'll be the determining factor. I mean, Minnesota has been at the bottom of the standings for the longest. Edwards was a little inefficient coming in. He kind of really just lived up to the reputation his scouting report said. I think he's a good player, but I think LaMelo can be the best player on a championship team, and I think that's the deciding difference.
Okay. I think that's interesting, but I'm going to let you have it. And we're moving on to the next award, Most Improved Player. Yet again, I'm going to start it off. I got to give mine to Zach LaVine. He's seeing career highs in points, rebounds, and assists, averaging 28 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. He's the only player in the NBA to start at least 20 games and shoot at least 50% from the field, 43% from the three, and 85% from the free throw line. He's getting it done at all 3 levels in terms of scoring, and he's turned himself into a pure 3-level scorer instead of the slasher he was built to be. And his improvement has the Bulls fighting for a chance to play in. So that's why Zach LaVine gets my Most Improved award.
I'm gonna give my Most Improved award to Chris Boucher, a rare 4-year guy out of Oregon. Just was in the G League last year with the 905 Raptors, but he came in and gave an immediate impact to a Toronto team that had playoff hopes coming in the season. But it is what it is. 13 points, 8 rebounds a game, 2 blocks a game. Let me see the 3-point percentage real quick. 39%. So doing all the things, baby Serge Ibaka essentially doing all the things that a big guy's supposed to do in the league while adding that 3-point touch.
I like those picks, bro. Especially Chris Boucher. He's really stepped up. But for me, I'm gonna have to go with a guy that's having a career high in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and 3-point field goal percentage, and that's Julius Randle, bro. He's doing all of this on a contender in the Eastern Conference, bro. The Knicks, when was the last time it was relevant? Carmelo Anthony was on the team.
Yeah.
Carmelo Anthony has been through it in the past couple of years, so that lets you know how long ago the Knicks were relevant. So I'm gonna have to go with Randle for Most Improved, especially with this 3-point percentage. Prior to this season, his highest was 34%. Other than that, in the other seasons he's played, he never shot over 30% from 3-point range. This season, he's shooting 41% from 3-point range.
25, 10, and 5.
A lot of shots were going up in quarantine, man.
Facts.
He had a long off season to work on his game. No, the Knicks ain't make the bubble.
Don't do him like that. Quick question: we get out Randall. Is he All NBA this year?
Of course, he's a top 3 player. He should be in the MVP race, but that's another conversation for later on.
He brought the Knicks back, man.
Okay. And Randolph, remember when we thought the best thing he could be was Zach Randolph?
I didn't think he could be Zach Randolph.
You didn't think he could be Zach Randolph? That's crazy.
So
it's a prime Zebo stat line minus the threes. Zebo weren't shooting threes.
It's just
Zebo wasn't throwing up 25-10.
Yes, he was.
You sleep.
Prime Zebo.
Yeah, Portland Zebo.
Over a season? Oh,
Portland Zebo, he was different. But it's just the fact that Julius Randle has that off the bounce game, bro. That athleticism that Zebo didn't have.
And it does look because he's still not a small guy. He's lost the weight, but he's still going to be about 245, 250. And it just looks crazy him taking pull-up jumpers and step-back threes that's contested. It looks – they look like all bad shots until they go in.
Yeah. Let's just hope this year isn't an anomaly for Julius Randle and continues to put New York, the Knicks, on his back. Put Spike Lee on his back. So,
Spike Lee not that heavy, though.
Up next award we got Defensive Player of the Year. I got Ben Simmons, just a position versatility when it comes to defense, being able to guard 1 through 5, often taking the opponent's best offensive players, taking on that challenge. And I think Ben Simmons, his impact goes beyond the stat line. You got to look at everything he does in terms of making Philadelphia's defense worked by being able to switch on pick and rolls with guards and bigs. Just his switchability on defense and his locked inness on defense, taking on the tough matchups, guys like Giannis, Jason Tatum on a night-to-night basis. And if you look at it, he's averaging 1.5 steals per game, 3.5 deflections per game, and 1.3 loose balls recovered, bro. I bet those are stats y'all didn't even know existed, man. So
I'm glad definitely to piggyback off your stats, take Ben Simmons as my DPOY as well. It used to be an award that's dominated by big men. Gobert did win it 2 years in a row. But I think Simmons, he publicly staked his claim halfway through the season. And I think that for once, I think a player that was right. Like Nick said, 1 through 5, engaged defensively. I think he actually, taking a step up this year, on the defensive end of the on the floor. He nicknamed all those nice stats, but just watching. I mean, for defense in NBA, you got to be able to watch and see, how that opponent's taken away. And I've seen Ben Simmons take away perimeter scorers and post lockdown guys like not Embiid, but who was he locking up? Jokic. So when you can, say you put the clamps on the future MVP, you got my vote.
Okay. I'm gonna have to go with Rudy Gobert, bro. Averaging career high 2.8 blocks per game. He's averaging 10 defensive rebounds per game. He's second in rebounds in the league at 13.3 rebounds. He's just a menace, bro, in the paint. I was watching one series. It was a weekend series. They played the Grizzlies in back-to-back games, bro. The Grizzlies could not get a bucket in the paint to save their lives, bro. People are actually intimidated to go to the rim whenever they see Rudy Gobert.
you think I'm gonna let a man who is crying because he wasn't named the All-Star stop me from getting my shot in the paint? Because I'm not.
I would have voted for him the other day until Devin Booker made him do the Heisman. So that kind of messed up his case with me a little bit.
I mean, I don't think Ben Simmons is a top 3 defender in the Eastern Conference alone.
You ain't been watching the tape, bro. You definitely ain't been watching the games.
So Giannis, I would say Giannis, Embiid, and Miles Turner over Ben Simmons.
I like the Miles Turner pick, but I don't think anybody has the impact that Ben Simmons does on the defensive end of the court.
I mean, if Miles Turner had stayed healthy, he probably could have got. He was having like 4 blocks a game, but on a possession basis, it's not even close, really. Ben Simmons,
Giannis is a better defender than Ben Simmons.
He doesn't even at this point. Milwaukee doesn't even have him on the as best offensive guy. Simmons is gladly taking that steal every night. So I don't know what it's. I mean, maybe it says that he's not, Philadelphia's primary option. And it definitely hasn't developed offensively like he wants, but on that end, he's taking a step forward in my eyes.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a step forward. That's how really.
So moving on, we got 6th man of the year. I'm gonna go with Jordan Clarkson. He's a big factor in why the Jazz are the best team in the NBA right now, looking at their record. He provides a scoring spark for the Jazz that they were really missing last year off that bench. He's averaging 17.7 points per game with 2.5 assists, shooting 41% from the field and 34% from the three-point line. Like I said, he's just providing that spark on offense that the Jazz need and have used to carry them to the record that they have right now. And on top of that, he's one of the swaggiest players in the NBA. So that also helps the 6th man standing. Got to have swag to be a 6th man.
Definitely. I mean, if you're going off swag, my guy has no chance, but you just take it on the court. Bobby Portis has been doing his thing. Career high 48% from 3. That's 6 in the NBA. It's coming from a 7-footer. Milwaukee, their regular season struggles have been documented. So, it was important for Budenholzer to go out and get some pieces that could help put them over the top. And I think the development DiVincenzo was helpful, but Bobby Portis, I mean, that was one of the bigger guys they brought. One of the main guys they brought in free agency. Came from New York, averaged 12 points last year. Always been, a solid guy, never a standout. But I think that he's, definitely fell into his role in Milwaukee, and they needed his shooting more than ever. So I think that if Bobby Portis can make, especially if he makes a big 3 or 2 in a playoff game, he'll cement his case for 6th man of the year.
I like that pick, but that Jordan Clarkson pick, I was about to go with him. But I want to be a little bit different, and I'm going to go with another New York Knickerbocker, and that's Derrick Rose, bro. Since he's joined the Knicks, he's averaging 14.8 points per game. He's shooting a career high 3-point percentage while playing for the Knicks at 41% at a high clip. Recently, he's been in mode, bro. You know, just the way he's been moving fluently, he looks like he's happy to be back in the league. The way I see it, bro, the way Derrick Rose is playing, bro, anything is possible. You know, in his last couple of games that he's played, I'm just gonna read off some stats real quick from Derrick Rose. In his last games he played, he dropped 25 last game, 19, 18, 24, 17, 14, 25, 24, 22, and 19 points per a game. And that's just in the last 10 games he's played. So I'm gonna go with Derrick Rose and for sixth man of the year.
Yeah, there's a lot of solid picks in that category. Now moving on, coach of the year. I got to go with Monty Williams, head coach of the Suns. He led the team to that 8-0 run in the bubble, at which I think propelled them to the success they've had this year, in addition to adding Chris Paul. So you look at the Suns this year, they have the second best record in the NBA of 48-20, and Monty Williams is leading one of the league's best offenses. They're the second best team in the league in terms of field goal percentage, and they're the ninth best team in terms of points per game. So this is a really efficient offense coached up by Monty Williams, and they're having a lot of success throughout the regular season.
Okay, Monty Williams, you know, a solid guy, especially out of New Orleans. You know, a good track record in the league. Honestly, would have been my pick if not for what Doc did this year. You know, it was we know that it was a toxic situation coming out of Philadelphia after Brett Brown left. You know, the Kawhi thing, it's this insistent question about, you know, Simmons and Embiid, and I think that he did a really good job, a great job of quoting those concerns and making that offense sit around Embiid while operating, adding the spacing that they needed with Danny Green and coaching, especially a talented team like that. And that Doc knows it's more about managing egos and keeping people happy more than, you know, minutes or rotation, anything like that. And I mean, the results speak for themselves. Embiid is having an MVP year. They're at the top of the East, and I don't think they did neither one of those things last year. So he done the best. He did a really good job, and I think that it probably is going on the radar, honestly.
Okay. You know, I don't think any of those picks could be wrong. I wouldn't argue if any of your picks made it, but my pick, I'm gonna go with looking at it, this is the third Knick I'm gonna pick, and that's Tom Thibodeau. You know, New York Knicks right now, they're 38-30, about to get to 40 wins. The last time the Knicks run 40 games, can y'all guess?
I'm gonna say like 2013, 2014. Because no,
it was 2013. It was 50.
Yeah, that was the year they was like
Carmelo Anthony was an all-star. I'm gonna have to go Tom Thibodeau. I didn't know how this was gonna work, but you know, they're about to win 40 games, first time in almost 10 years, bro. That's impressive.
Yeah. I mean, I think there are a lot of good coaches around the league right now. You look at Monty Williams. You look at Doc Rivers. You look at Tom Thibodeau. You look at what Borega's done in Charlotte. It's just like everywhere you look, there are good coaches in the league, you know, doing good things with their young players and putting teams in positions to win. And so last but not least, NBA MVP. I'm going to keep it simple. I got to go with the front runner this year, and that's Nikola Jokic, bro. He's the primary playmaker for the Nuggets, putting up – just listen to the stat line, bro, and tell me how this is not just look at this stat line and tell me how these are not MVP numbers. 26.4 points per game, 10.8 rebounds per game, 8.5 assists per game, shooting 56% from the field, 40% from the three-point line as a center. A 7-foot center, bro. In addition to his statistical impact, he's thrown more passes than anyone else in the league, and he set more screens than all but 10 players. You're looking for a guy that is crucial to your team's success. It's Nikola Jokic, hands down, bro. He's the only all-star to play in every game this season. Just his impact and efficiency on the court are what make the Nuggets who they are, a team that's fourth in the West with 44 wins and has sustained through a Jamal Murray ACL injury. At the first 12 games after Jamal Murray got hurt, the Nuggets went 11-1, and that's in large part due to Nikola Jokic.
I think I won't argue with Nick. I definitely think that you probably picked the future winner. I actually already said it, but I'm gonna stress the definition of the. I'm gonna stress the definition to the letter of the law. The award is called the most valuable player, and as you eloquently detailed earlier about Chris Paul, there is no more valuable player in the league. You bring Chris Paul on your team, that's an automatic 20 wins. You know, 19 points, 9 assists. You know, Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, turning guys that, needed to make that jump to successfully making that jump. I do think the MVP pool is diluted this year. I think LeBron, KD, the injuries they had. I think Jokic,
too.
He's not. It would leave the award to be open to win for Chris Paul to win it. It wouldn't be a traditional winner. The stats don't overwhelm you, but the winning does. So especially they're a 1 or 2 seed right now. I think they're the 2 seed. If they can get to the conference finals and put up a good fight, or even get to the NBA finals, which more people think is possible than don't. Chris Paul MVP doesn't sound crazy to me. Don't shoot me, Vance.
I'm gonna just spit out 2, bro, and this is gonna shut down the Chris Paul for MVP talk, ramble, whatever you want to call it. In the bubble, the Phoenix Suns ended their season on an 8-0 run, undefeated in the bubble. So they was already in the upward track going into the season. I think with or without him, they would have made the playoffs. That's a fact. The second fact, Nick Wright said Nikola Jokic would be the worst MVP of all time in the last 35 years. If Chris Paul was named the MVP this season, he would be the worst MVP of all time, even worse than Steve Nash. And those 2 are facts. But with that being said, I was going to pick Julius Randle, but I don't want to sound like a Knicks fan, bro. It's just too cliche. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to side with Nick on this. I'm going to pick Nikola Jokic. Those stats, he's a point center, bro. Who's the last point center we've seen? Maybe a larger one.
Yeah,
you can't deny it. He's not the worst. He's not the worst MVP you've ever seen. Not even close. Our Twitter just tweeted out the list of the last 35 MVP winners. I challenge you to go through their list and find somebody that was worse than Nikola Jokic.
And so, as always, we're gonna end this episode out with our game balls, man. You know how we do it. And so for me, I got to give my game ball to Trevor Williams, a 5'9", 205-pound linebacker from Sam Houston State. He put up 12 tackles, 3 TFLs, and a forced fumble in Sam Houston State's 21-point comeback against James Madison in order to go to the FCS National Championship. So shout out to Trevor Williams for his big performance in a big-time game. And I got to tune in to the FCS Championship now. So who you guys got?
When is it?
Saturday.
Who they play? Who's saying play?
South Dakota State.
Not North, though. I'm going to have to give my game ball to Mr. Russell Westbrook. 182 triple doubles. That's pretty impressive. And I want to give it to him because I've gone the whole spectrum of Russell Westbrook fandom. First of all, he not killed, but he played a major part in some early heartbreak I had in terms of, UCLA and Memphis. But we ain't going to get into that. But coming in as a guy, I'm like, Russell Westbrook literally got drafted, whatever. Coming as a guy, a 2-guard, somebody that, really didn't have, star potential labeled all over him. And it just to become what he's become. A lot of people argue with his inefficiency, which I have. A lot of people argue with his ability to affect winning basketball, which I have at one point. But I think both are undeniable at this point. He's won the MVP. He's done everything he needed to do. He's done it his own way. And to still be, doing the things he's doing in Washington and pushing that team towards a playoff berth, I think it's safe to say he's, officially proved me wrong, and I can jump on the Russell Westbrook fan ride, whatever it's called, bandwagon. So, welcome to the club, baby.
All right, so it's been a while since we recorded, so back on draft night, Kevin Porter Jr., after going to the club, he got fined 50 racks, and then he dropped 50 points the very night.
That was good.
I was going to give him the game ball, and then Jason Tatum that Friday night dropped 60 points. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to go with basketball. I'm going to go with the best pound-for-pound fighter right now, and that's Santos Saul Canelo Alvarez. He just got his 56th win. He broke this guy's orbital socket, bro. That's Billy Joe Saunders. He may not ever fight again, bro. Do you know how hard you got to hit somebody to break his orbital socket? He said he had a nice surgery. He'll be back. I don't know, bro. That's stuff.
Oh, no.
Not supposed to happen, bro. So I'm going to give Canelo Alvarez my game ball.
Yeah, man.
Richard Report just said that. They said, like, his career will never be the same. Like, he might not, like, his vision might not come back all the way in that eye. Canelo Alvarez literally destroyed a man's life with one punch.
I don't want to see him on the street, bro. Quick question before we get off, bro. Alvarez versus Aaron Donald in a fight. Who y'all take?
Aaron Donald, because he's black. But brother, it probably Aaron Donald still.
I mean, it's a fight, bro. It's not straight boxing, bro. He can bear hug a 5'9", 160-pound dude, bro.
Don't act like he still don't got hands though.
He got hands. Yeah, I think Aaron Donald can eat them.
Yeah. Aaron Donald, it was so crazy. He just the one dude falsely accused him. He was like, nah, not him. I think it's pretty well established not to.
But anyway, man, we're gonna wrap this episode up. Yet again, thanks for taking us out. Make sure y'all keep checking us out. Follow us on our socials, like, comment, subscribe, do all of that. And with that, bro, we out of here. Make sure y'all stay safe. And it's up this
Bumper clots.